In this video, we're going to set up a basic C Sharp Windows Forms application, and we're going to make it look a little bit like a console application. I don't want to go back into console applications at this stage, so we'll have something that looks like one, but we'll have the code running behind a button. So open Visual Studio, or launch Visual Studio, and then click on File, New Project, and as you can see here, I've just jumped ahead a wee bit. Select Visual C Sharp, select Windows Forms app, browse to where you want to save it, and I've got a folder called Programming, and I'm going to call this Recap. So we'll build upon this here as we go along, and click OK. So as you can see here, we've got a basic program. It's got a form. There's the toolbox. We've got our Solution Explorer and our Properties window over on the right hand side. So just like before, you can lay this out whatever way you want. What I want to do with this, and I'm not going to change the size of the form, but what I'm going to do from all Windows Forms, so the controls for all Windows Forms, I scroll down till we find a rich text box, and you can just drag on onto the form there. The first thing I do with all controls is give them a name. So making sure the rich text box is selected. Over on the Properties window, for the name property, change it to RTB underscore, which is the prefix that we'll use for our rich text box. And we're going to use this here for output, so our display. So I'll call it RTB output. I'm going to take the background or the back color property, and I'm going to change that to black. I'll select custom from the drop down, change that to black, and the forecolor I'll change to white. So we've got white text on a black background, which is basically what you get in most console apps. I'm using the rich text box because it automatically lets me have new lines and so on. So I've just resized this so it takes up most of my window. If I scroll down to the text property, I'm just going to put on some text there just to see what it looks like for size and so on, and you can see that it's fairly small. So I'll go to the font property and change that up to about 16. So makes it a lot easier to see there now. So it's white on a black background, and we've got size 16 there. So once I'm happy with the size, I can take out what's in that text property again. I also want to have a button where I can run code. So if I drag a button on to the form, I'm gonna rename it btn underscore, and this is for running some code, so I'll call it btn underscore run. And for the text property, I'll change that to run code. I'll also change the font to, let's say, size 12. I could just resize the button. So I'm not overly worried about the actual size of the button, just want it to look sort of okay. And the final thing I'll do with just the basic form is make sure the form's selected. Scroll down in the properties to start position and change start position to center screen. So very basic application we have here now. If I click on the start button, so it's going to compile to run this. So you can see we have this basic application here. This is set up for output. You can have input on it if you want. Clicking on the run code button at the moment doesn't do anything, But what we'll do is we'll do some demo stuff in that run code button. I'm just going to finish the video with that, just to keep it nice and short and straightforward, so you can get up and running at least to that stage.